Hello, welcome to the Sound of Science, the place where we deconstruct unscientific bogus and silly scams. Let's go get them. Hello. On this channel, I have discussed the problem of evil several times. The basics of the problem of evil are that an all-powerful God who loves us all would never allow for evil to exist. If that God is not capable of eliminating evil, he is not all-powerful. If he is capable of eliminating evil, but he chooses not to do so, then he doesn't love us. Throughout the years, theists have come up with various word soups to respond to this problem. They say that for some magic reason, human suffering is our own mistake. All of a sudden, God is no longer in charge. Apparently, God is only responsible for the good stuff. Now, to counter this ridiculous nonsense, I made a video last week in which I tried to scale down the problem of evil. I basically first wanted theists, mostly Christians. I just know a whole bunch of them are roaming around my channel. I first wanted them to answer the following question. Is God capable of ending human suffering? Seems like a pretty straightforward yes or no question. There are basically only three possible answers to a question like that. Answer 1. Yes, God is capable of ending human suffering. Answer 2. No, God is not capable of ending human suffering. Answer 3. I'm not sure if God is capable of ending human suffering. But sweet mother of Gandalf, even this relatively simple yes-no question was met with some serious theist word salad in the comment section. Apparently, it is possible to even dance around straightforward yes-no questions. Here are some of the replies that some theists gave me in return. I heard this one: how would you define human suffering? Well, that of course is irrelevant to the question. The way I define human suffering surely does not affect God's capability of ending it. Does God need my definition to understand what human suffering is? No, of course. So regardless of my definition, God can or cannot end human suffering, and my definition is not needed for God to do such a thing. Another reply I got was, oh, but God does end human suffering. Now that is the most tricky answer I got, because it implicitly, yet obviously, works with an entirely different concept of human suffering than is implied in the question. When we ask, is God capable of ending human suffering? Then of course we don't mean human suffering on a micro scale. I don't mean that if the lady downstairs is terribly ill, can God heal her and thus end that particular case of human suffering? Because within that context, every theist will say, of course God can end human suffering. He just healed the lady downstairs. Of course, that's not what happened. But if the lady downstairs was no longer ill, then theists will claim it was God's intervention. But that is not ending human suffering within the context of the question that I asked, because healing the lady downstairs is not really impressive for a God. We've got physicians for that. Human beings can end individual human suffering, but that is not the kind of human suffering that is implied when this question is asked. When we ask, can God end human suffering, we mean human suffering in a general sense, like ending human suffering in a way that human suffering no longer exists in this world. That, of course, was the question. But even after I explained that in the comment section to some of the theists who are roaming around, one of them managed to produce more word salad. He or she introduced a condition. God can end human suffering, but only if he destroys the whole world with everything in it. Of course, the question is why, and how would you know that? But the answer most likely would be some kind of Bible verse or another word salad, so that would lead to nothing. What I'm going to do instead is scaling the question down even more to its bare basics. Now I need to be careful with my wording because I want to keep this video YouTube friendly. If I mention certain specific types of human suffering, this video gets flagged by the algorithm and then nobody gets to watch it or discuss it, which would be a pity. So let me put it like this. This is a question, of course, for everyone who's watching, and especially for that bunch of theists who I just know are watching my videos. So I will ask a question in which I will spell out the last word, which is a specific type of horrible human suffering. So the question is God capable of ending RAPE? Is he capable of ending it in a way that RAPE would no longer exist in this world? Can God do that? To me, this looks like a very much straightforward yes/no question. The answer could be yes, he can, or no, he can't, or I'm not sure if he can. Now, I can't rule out that some of the theists out there will say, yes, but, and then they will unfold some package of preconditions. It's funny how God can talk whole planets into existence, but if we ask him to end the suffering, he all of a sudden is not so capable anymore. So, can God end RAPE in a way that RAPE no longer exists in this world? Can he do that? Seems like a pretty clear and reasonable question. I would be happy to hear from you in the comments. I'll be waiting. Thanks. Oh, and I forgot. Now that you've reached the end of the video, have you subscribed already? Because if you like my content and my style and my approach, then please feel welcome to subscribe to my channel. If more people subscribe, YouTube will recommend my videos to more viewers, and then more people will hear my message, and more people will hear the sound of science.